you want to send money to Nigeria, Cameroon, Ghana, anywhere in Africa, download Afriex today. We have the best rate. Transactions are ridiculously fast. Yes. Ridiculously fast.
Yes.
Within 10 seconds, money has arrived. You've sent happiness home. All right?
Hey people, if you know you are a Nigerian in Canada, Africans, whatever continent you're from, I need to tell you about the Afriex app. It's going to help you to be able to transfer and convert your CADs to whatever currency you want to convert it to. You don't have any excuse to send your people money. Not gonna say, oh, you need to have a CD account or dollar account. You can use it and send money to them in whatever currency. So download that app and start sending them money. Don't be stingy.
Don't be stingy. I hope you have downloaded the Afriex app. I and my family use Afriex to send money around the world. And if you use Afriex, you are not just getting best rate in town, you are also likely to get a bonus from Afriex. Afriex will be awarding many of you bonuses of $50 to $100 if you send money. And this is aside from you getting the best rate. So please make sure you download the Afriex app and use it to send money from US, from Canada, from Europe to different parts of the world. Hello friends, welcome to Choco Millionaire. I miss you guys all and I know you've missed me too. So yeah, there is an update from Canada's immigration regarding the Care Worker for Permanent Residence program. You remember that program that a lot of you have been waiting for, which is get a job as a care worker and then you will get in a permanent residence like on an IRA. You remember that program we talked about? Yes, there are some interesting updates coming out on that. In this video, I will be talking about that. If today is your first time tuning in, you're so welcome to this live broadcast. Don't forget to smash the like button, share this video in your WhatsApp groups with your friends, and let's get our friends educated. All right, before I talk about the details, let me just talk briefly about Afriex one more time. So I and my family use Afriex to send money from here to different parts of the world, especially Ghana, where I'm from. So if you are in Canada and you're looking for amazing rates to send your Canadian dollars to Ghana or even to other African countries, Nigeria, Cameroon, Ivory Coast, name them. Remember, you can just do that with your Afriex app. With Afriex, you can also schedule your transfers, meaning you literally don't have to worry about what time to send your money. You can literally set it up and schedule it in such a way that when that time arrives, the app automatically does a transfer on your behalf because you have already authorized it. That way, whilst you're sleeping, your money gets sent without you having to worry. Also remember that you can send Afriex money on Afriex from the USA, from different parts of Europe to Africa and other countries as well. The good news is that Afriex has also just started sending money to India. So if you're watching from other countries or in Canada and you're thinking of sending money to India, you can now do that on Afriex. Now, sending money within Africa has also not been left out. Do you know with your Afriex app, you can actually send money within Africa from one country to the other? Let me give you an example. If I'm in Kenya right now, I'm in Nigeria, right? And I want to send money to Kenya. Sometimes you have to go to the bank, pay hefty fees and charges, and the money may probably not even get there right away, like instantly. But with your Afriex app, you can move money from a place like Nigeria to Kenya seamlessly. Please consider downloading the Afriex. Are you a gig worker or a contract worker? Maybe you're based outside of North America and then you are working for an American company and they've been paying you money, but you have difficulty receiving your wages or your salary in Africa. Afriex allows you to set up a USD global account on the Afriex app. Of course, you have to go through some processes to get that eligibility done. And if you get it verified and everything is good, you are able to set up your USD account and use that to receive money from your employer and then seamlessly move that money from your USD global account to your preferred currency wherever you live in the world. All right, so please consider trying Afriex out and let me know what your experiences are. Now, when you also use my name Choco, CHORKOR, as the promo code when you download the Afriex as a first-time sender, you are able to get $15. Afriex will give you $15 if you use my promo code Choco, all right, to send money, $50. If you send $50, Afriex is giving you $15. So download the Afriex app under the promo code section, type my name, Choco, don't add a millionaire, just Choco, and send money. When you send up $50, Afriex is giving you $15, but just because you love me and you use my name as the promo code. Do you also know that you can actually benefit from using Afriex by sharing your Afriex referral link, which is within the app, with your friends and your WhatsApp groups, your Telegram groups, your social media. And then when they use it to send money, because you share the link, you will also get money. Let me give you an example here, all right? So I get messages from Afriex when people use my referral link to send money. I get Afriex telling me that I've got some money. Let me show you an example of that right now, okay? So right here, okay, give me a second here. Let me just put this on the screen for you to see. So this is an example of what I'm talking about right now. This is it, okay? This is it. So I get this message from Afriex telling me that, hey, your referral has unlocked an exciting rewards. I should redeem them now for up to $200 discounts on Uber, on Amazon, on Nike, Apparel, and it goes on and on. So literally, when you share your referral link with your friends and they use it to send money, you are making money. And that money builds up in points. And you can use it to book your Uber, shop on Amazon. You see the bunch of businesses that are there that you can actually use your Afriex points just from referring, sharing with people. So I want you to really, really consider this. Check it out and let me know what you think. All right, Afriex is giving you the best. Please consider using Afriex. All right, so that is a message from our guys there at Afriex. Now let's talk about the home care worker program. So last year, Canada's immigration announced that they will be introducing a brand new immigration program called the Home Child Care Worker Program, which will basically give about 15,000 people in total within a space of about 3 years or so the opportunity to become permanent residents. And what was interesting about that announcement was that they said the permanent resident was going to be upon arrival. Now, the impression people got from that initial announcement or teaser from last year was that if you don't live in Canada or if you are outside of Canada, you could come in and work as a care worker or home child care worker and get an automatic permanent residence. They hinted on some key requirements, one of them being the minimum level of education as high school. The second one has to be you need to get a full-time job offer, and then you need to also have relevant work experience and also pass a language test. We talked about that. Now, they said they were going to introduce it somewhere around fall last year, which was around September last year, to latest by January 2025. Unfortunately, they were not able to introduce it as they had planned. So late January 2025, they issued an update, and that update hinted that in the month of March 2025, they will roll out the policy. Now, I have been monitoring immigration trends here in Canada and with things happening in Canada. So a month ago, I did a video. In that video, titled, "Forget about Canada's PR for on arrival for care workers." Do you guys remember that video? I did that video about a month ago. I made an argument in that video, and I said that the data on the ground looks to me that it will be almost illogical to bring people from outside of Canada to come and work as care workers when we have a huge backlog of people in Canada who are eligible for permanent residency but have not been given the opportunity. And I gave a whole lot of reasons. That video was a very tough video I made in the sense that typically you don't see YouTubers make this kind of video. A lot of people will just make videos, promising people, hey, Canada care worker, you can come, apply for a job. But I just decided to go against the grain by just telling people what I just thought the data was telling me, that I thought it was not going to happen. So one of the things I said is that I doubted it will happen. Then I gave a second condition. I said, even if it happens, it is possible they will be giving it to those who are already in Canada. Do you remember Well, since that video was just a month ago and has been viewed by about 22,000 people, let me just play an excerpt of that video. This is the title, Forget About Canada's PR for Care Workers. Let me play an excerpt for you to hear.
Whether you think these people who already came into Canada, brought money into the country, Canada, studied and paid school fees, paid rent for 1 or 2 years, spent money on the Canadian economy, but don't know how they are going to transition. Whether you think the government will sideline them, bypass them, and bring you, who is another country, to come into Canada and come and work as a caregiver. Because of what? It just doesn't. It's not because you are even a nurse. So it's not because you are an internationally educated nurse with your NCLEX is done and you are coming to work. Caregiver. This is not to downplay the caregiver. I'm just telling you, these are jobs that people in Canada can easily fill. International students, graduates can easily fill these jobs. Some of them are already working. They don't have their PR. Some of them are working as, some of them are already working in caregiver. They still haven't gotten an invitation. So the people who are already working here with work experience are not even getting the invitation. Now, how much more you, who is not yet in Canada? So this video is only to tell you that my firm prediction is that they will probably not do it. They probably will give an excuse for not rolling it out. If they do it, I'll come back and say, well, they proved me wrong. And I'll be happy to come back and say, wow, they proved me.
So that was my first prediction, that they will not do it. And then if I said, if they do it, I'll come back and then I'll do a video, then I probably apologize that I got it wrong. You can tell in the last few days or weeks, I did a video and I told you that they said they would do it, right? Let's look at the second thing I said.
Wrong. But I just think they won't do it. Even if they should do it, they will give it to people who are already in Canada, not you who is outside. Listen to this part. I say, even if they decide to roll it out, caregiver PR, first day upon arrival, they may focus on those who are already in Canada, not those of you who are outside Canada.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening. So that's just a quick recap of that video I did about a month ago. There is an update from Canada's immigration regarding the home care worker program. I have posted the link in the description box of this video. All you have to do when the video ends is to check this video out again where the description is and click on the link and then read it for yourself. Let's go into the details here, okay? So this is from the official website of Canada's immigration, all right? This is like very new. It just came out. Home care worker immigration pilot. If you're watching this, don't forget to smash the like button, share it with yourself or your friends, and make sure you can go back to it and watch it. Now, home care workers play an important role in Canada, in Canadian society. They help nurture, blah, blah. I wouldn't read this part because this is just a normal introduction where they're going to justify every policy they make. They start like this, just so they can justify what they're about to do, right? So that's this. So let's go to the second paragraph. The new home care worker immigration pilots will make it easier for home care workers in home support or home child care to become permanent residents, find work with a range of employers. There will be two streams. Number one, workers in Canada. Number two, applicants not working in Canada. Then it goes on to clarify, when the pilots open, will only accept applications for the workers in Canada stream. The stream for applicants not working in Canada will open at a later date. Learn more about this, and then it goes on to talk about additional things. So the new pilots will build on the successes of the previous ones to better meet the changing home care needs of Canadians, while recognizing the importance of workers, the importance of the workers providing this care. Number one, permanent residence in one step. So that is the part that says you're getting permanent residence with this program. Previously, they had said permanent residence on arrival. Now they say permanent residence in one step. So let's check the details out. The new pilots will offer a one-step immigration process for home care workers and their family members. Qualified home care workers will get permanent residence without needing Canadian work experience in the occupation first. So you don't need a Canadian work experience, which is basically a 1 year of work experience in Canada. They say you don't need that 1 year of work experience in Canada, all right? But in order to get a PR. Secondly, there is a reduced language and education requirement. The new pilots will lower language and education requirements. Applicants will still need to have the skills required to perform the work and be able to adapt to the Canadian labor market. However, applicants will now only need, what would they need? A level 4 in the Canadian language benchmark, which simply means you need to have a CLB 4 if you do either this, your IELTS or your whatever language test you do. You just need to make sure that you have an average of band 4. Secondly, you also need to have a high school education or diploma, which is basically a graduate from a secondary school. That's the minimum education required there. Now, the third requirement here is that no in Canada work experience needed. So you don't need to have a work experience from Canada. Now, technically, when we say work experience from Canada, we're looking at almost 1 year. They're saying that you probably don't need a 1 year work experience in Canada, which a lot of people will use to apply for what we call Canadian experience class. So let me read the full details there. Applicants won't need prior Canadian work experience. However, they will need to have a recent relevant work experience or have completed a credential of at least 6 months of related home care training. They will also need to have a full-time job offer, a home care within Canada outside of Quebec. All right. The fourth requirement, flexible work options with a job offer. Home care workers can work where they are needed. Your job offer can be from one, a private household, meaning a private individual or a family can give you a job for you to go work with them as a home child care worker. Or secondly, organizations that directly hire full-time workers to provide short-term or occasional home care for those who are in semi-independent or recovering from an injury or illness. For example, home health care service providers, home care support service providers, direct care agencies, personal care services in residential settings, pediatric home health care service providers. This will not include recruitment or placement agencies. So they will not accept jobs that are coming from us. Maybe, it doesn't cover jobs that are coming from agencies. They are talking about jobs that are coming directly from the employer or the private individual which is hiring you, but not from job agencies. All right, who is eligible? Applicants interested in working in Canada's home care sector will be eligible to apply when the pilots open if they, one, have a minimum of level 4 in English or French in the CLB or NCLC. Number 2, have the equivalent of a Canadian high school diploma or higher than that. Have at least 6 months of recent and relevant work experience or a related caregiver training credential. Have an offer for a full-time home care job. Then a labor market impact assessment is not required. You don't need an LMI to get this. All right, guys, this is where I will stop the reading. They've mentioned that there will be further details coming up because the program is yet to officially go live for people to apply. But at least we can agree that one of my predictions came true. I did say that even if they start or they decide to do it, they might restrict it to people who are in Canada. That is a clear example there. Now, you might say, okay, but Choco, they had a second part that said those who are not in Canada but want to take advantage of this program, they will roll that stream later on. So there are 2 streams, one for workers in Canada and the second one for those who are not in Canada. And then they said those who are not in Canada, yours will come later. There is no date. But now they are focusing on, why are they focusing on those who are in Canada? Because it goes to confirm what I said. We have a lot of people in Canada who don't have a permanent residency, graduates from schools, people on open work permits, people from different kind of background, asylum seekers. who are in the process of maybe waiting for a decision on their refugee claims, and a whole bunch. They don't have no jobs. So it didn't make sense to me that all these people will be put aside or brushed aside, and then people from outside Canada are given the opportunity to land as permanent. It just didn't make sense to me. Sometime back would have made sense, given the situation in Canada. It just didn't make sense. That's why I gave that prediction. And you can tell I was right. They are starting from Canada. That is why I'm saying that before you decide to fall for agents who are packaging things for you, you know what I mean? Packaging, Canada Wear, Canada PR, Canada Care. Just be careful. That's all the warning I've been trying to issue to people. Just shine your eyes. Now, it is possible they will open the second stream for people who are not in Canada to apply later on. Nobody knows when. It is also possible they may not do it at all, especially when they look at the volume of applications that they'll receive under the first stream, which is those in Canada. And I'm telling you, people, when they open it, that thing will close fast. Mark my words. Mark my words. The day they open it like this, that thing will close fast. Because the number of people who are in Canada right now who don't have PR, they plenty rough. Me, I they meet them. I know they lie you. What are they go get? Me, I be Canadian citizens. I don't need to lie to you. Do you know how many asylum seekers are here who have no job? Plenty. I live with them. I see them. Plenty. Majority in Niagara Falls, no job. They have work permit. Some of them have done PSW courses. They are looking. They can't. Graduates from yesterday, I spoke with a Nigerian family. The woman has been in Canada for over a year now, came to study. She said the whole 1 year she came here, she hasn't found a job. 1 year she came, she hasn't found a job. So imagine. Now she has even finished, so she still cannot find a job. You see, and these are people like able bodies who are ready to work. Then they find a job. So if this be the condition on the ground, why should I come and deceive you and tell you that sit down and put all your anointing oil together and let your face look shiny that you are coming to get PR? I'm saying that the chances are just really, really low. Sometime back it would have been high, but right now the circumstances just tells me that it won't happen. Even if it will happen, it might be very, very slim. You're seeing it yourself. Now see what the requirements do. I will explain some of the eligibility requirements. I will talk about it briefly, but let me tell you what I think. I just think this government has messed up too much. This is where some of you don't like the politics aspect of my videos, because I'm just going into politics and you guys just want me to talk about immigration. But all of this is politics. All of this is politics. It's all politics. Immigration decisions are all political. You see it? They've been playing with people for too long, too long. You had the opportunity from where? Somewhere before summer last year, or around summer last year, to announce this program. You yourself, you said from September to latest January 2025, you go launch up. You know launch up. When you mentioned that program in 2024, you said PR on arrival, giving people the impression that people from outside Canada are going to land in Canada as care workers. Forgetting that there are dubious people who always are looking for immigration updates like this to take advantage of people, especially when there is ambiguity or lack of clarity. When government is communicating, government has to be really clear. There was no need to put all those distance out from last year when you were not ready. There was no need to do that. There was no need to. Look at it. From last year, mid-year, you say you go do one. You know do one. You say latest by end of year, you go do one. January, you go do one. You know do one. January 2 come 2025. You now can't put date say you go do one in March. That one too, you know give details. Yet, you put that pathway people will be feeding on. Fake people will be feeding on. PR on arrival. PR on arrival. Care worker PR on. Yet, we have countries like UK to learn from, where care worker programs have been run. People have been taken advantage of. People have been lied to that they will get jobs in UK. Those jobs don't exist. 20,000. It's as if government just know they pay attention. And I was just sending the warning, say, man, these communications, they look good. Come out with something that has been well thought out. Clear. You know what I mean? Clear. You know what you're doing. You know why. You've done all the assessment. You've done all the stakeholder. Then you release it. Then people prepare. Right now, you launch last year where you say you would do it. Right now, they speak PG. Those of you who don't speak PG, you probably, sorry, that's me getting into my spirit there. You know, from last year, you say, This be the requirements. And then that requirements, if you didn't even mention the type of work experience and level of education. You know, they didn't even talk about it. So if you say level of education, high school, now they talk, say you need 6 months of what? Credential, maybe credential, this thing for what credential? What credential are you talking about? What are the credentials? No, aside from the high school, do I need another credential as a home care worker person? So what courses are you talking about? What are the approved courses that are acceptable? That one too, you know, go talk them. Then as you know talk them, you allow people to just be running all kinds of fake care worker things for people, and people will be duped. People will be duped. I've said it and I've said it. Just the ambiguity. Ambiguity simply means we are not being clear with the things we are saying. We are not being clear. You see, right from the beginning, you should have said, when you start, you will start by focusing on those in Canada. Then those who are not in Canada, they will sit there somewhere, sip their tea, eat their banku, and then eat their food and be quiet. You wait right now you give people hope from how many months now? Right now, they can't talk, say, you need to start with people who are not in Canada. You see what I mean? How are you feeling after reading this, watching this? Right now, how do you feel? Your spirit is down. Some of you have already spent money. You're waiting. Say, right now, you see, and then in the next 1 or 2 months, they'll come with another update again. Maybe they'll tell you they won't do it, or they have reached their quota, or they... You see, lack of communication. Lack of clarity, I should say. You know what I mean? Yeah. There are some interesting aspects of this. I think the most obvious ones are level of education, high school. I've talked about that in my previous videos. The second one is a full-time job offer. Now, what is important is that they are saying that those of you who are in Canada who want to apply, you don't necessarily need to have what we call a Canadian work experience, meaning having like a 1 year full-time work experience in Canada. You really don't need it. All you need is probably like a relevant recent work experience of about 6 months, right? So if you can just prove that you have some work experience related to this particular job, which is up to 6 months, you should be good. Now, what they didn't mention is whether that work experience should come from in Canada or outside of Canada. So that is an area that is a little bit vague. Maybe they will accept work experience that you had when you were not in Canada before you moved to Canada to have a work permit, right? So that's an area that you should probably pay attention to. And then he also said that the jobs should be coming from either an institutional setting, like a company or whatever that is hiring you, or from a private individual. So private individuals, families can also give you these jobs, right? So if you're putting your applications through under this and you're preparing, you could target private jobs or jobs that are coming from private families or individuals, or jobs that are coming from companies as well, or institutions. Just remember, agency jobs, or this job is my recruiter and stuff, they mentioned that those ones will not be part of it, if I understood it right. Now, they also said that this is a one-shot application for PR. What we don't know is how the process is going to be like. How long will it take to get a PR? You know, do you have to submit everything right from the beginning and wait? We still don't know. So there will likely be some more details coming up in the next few days or weeks. When they go live, they might release the details for us to know how long will this whole processing take. At what point do I get to submit the documents for PR, and how long will it take for me to get it? We don't know that for now, so we'll just keep eyes closed on that. We'll keep our eyes open and then see that what happens. The next one I want to talk about is the language test. I think that is pretty obvious. Benchmark 4. So if you are doing your IELTS or your CELPIP general, you want to aim for a minimum of a CLB 4. All right. If you're doing the Francophone version as well, that is also there. Okay. All right. The next one I want to talk about, let me just see if there is anything else that I can talk about. They said there will be no LMI needed for this. So if you get a job, the most important thing is, one, having the educational requirement. And I think, like I said, I think you will need to have an education credential evaluation, especially if you did not school in Canada. You may need to use WES or any of the credential evaluation organizations out there to evaluate your credentials, your high school or higher credential that you have. Because you just cannot use maybe your Ghana high school certificate and put it in a certain network. No, they won't accept it. They will likely tell you, have it verified by an independent organization whose job is to do that, all right? Okay, so the other thing I want to talk about Let me see. I'm just going through to see if there's any area that I should talk about. Yes, there is a part that you remember when they talk about the 2 streams under this particular program. This part. There will be 2 streams. 1, workers in Canada. 2, applicants not working in Canada. When the pilots will be open or only accept applications for the workers in Canada stream, the stream, blah, blah, blah. Now, a key question that could be asked is, what do you mean by workers in Canada? Does it mean those who are already on a work visa or a work permit? We don't know yet. The details probably will come later. Or does it mean that those who are eligible to work or looking for a job and they are already in Canada, maybe a visitor visa who is in Canada but is looking to actively work? Because that person is also in Canada and is looking to work. They are not allowed to, but maybe this program is suggesting that, I don't know. I'm just saying that it could have been a little bit, clear here, right? We could have stated probably, maybe details will come later. Who are the workers we're talking about? Maybe those who are on open work permit. Maybe those on spousal work permit. Maybe those on postgraduate work permits. Maybe those on foreign work visas. And, that clarity could have been there. But again, we don't know yet. So maybe we'll leave that for later, as the details could come later. But let me give another prediction here. I think they may restrict the workers in Canada to those who are on a valid work permit and can work full-time. Those who are also on work permits that are not restricted to a particular employer, like LMIA held work permits. So therefore, if what I'm saying should be put generally, like broadly in a more simple term, maybe those of you who are on spousal open work permits that are valid could fall into this category. Maybe those of you who are on general open work permits, maybe not through your spouse, but you got an open work permit to come to Canada and work, you could potentially be in this category. Or those who are on postgraduate work permit. I think 3 categories of work permits may be excluded. One could be international students who are enrolled in a full-time program. They could be excluded. The reason being that the international students are not allowed to work full-time. I've talked about it in the past. So I won't be surprised if they exclude those who are in school as full-time students from this program. I will not be surprised. All right, let's look forward to it and see what they say. The second category of people who could be restricted from this could be those on LMIA work permits, labor market impact assessment work permits. In other words, an LMIA says you are only working with a particular employer, ABC company. We are bringing you to Canada because ABC company wants you to come and work. So as you are here and you are working for ABC, it just doesn't make sense to me that that same work permit that says you can only work with ABC should now allow you to come and work as a caregiver by abandoning your ABC work restricted permit. You know what I mean? Maybe those who could be considered with an LMI could be those whose employers have gone out of business, right? Maybe you came with an LMI, you were working with an employer, and that employer has sold the business or is no longer in business, or has told you that they can no longer continue working with you out of no fault of yours. It's not your fault. It just happened, or life just happened. Your company is just insolvent, or something happened to your company. Maybe those people could be, I'm not saying this as a legal expert, immigration expert, I'm just insinuating here. Those people, maybe if they talk to immigration or Canada's immigration, maybe Canada's immigration might say, well, they can look for new jobs and maybe can be eligible. I'm just saying, right? So that's my 2 cents there. Now, the third one could be very tricky. I may get this one wrong, but let me just put my prediction through on that one too. The third group of people that I think might be excluded, I'm not too strong on this, but it could be asylum seekers. Asylum seekers. Those who are asylum seekers or maybe refugees, right? Those who are asylum seekers or refugees could be exempted from applying or restricted from applying. I'm just guessing, all right? And I'll tell you why I'm guessing this could be the case. This could be the case because an asylum seeker or refugee, if their case goes through, has a clear path to getting a permanent residence. Now, this home care worker program also has a permanent residence part. So if somebody who is an asylum seeker and maybe has a positive decision, approval of their asylum case, already has a path to permanent residency, I just don't see how we will allow them to also participate in this care worker program, especially when the number of asylum seekers in Canada is in almost hundreds of thousands, maybe over 100,000. You know, if they open the floodgate, we'll have a lot of asylum seekers applying as well for it. And I think that will also put a lot of, I'm not saying I don't want asylum seekers to apply before people misinterpret. I'm just saying that I think by the nature of the pathway for asylum seekers, from asylum seeker, refugee board looks at your case, they either approve or they don't approve. If they approve, you are given a refugee status, and then you have a clear path to apply for permanent residence. You know, that is why sometimes some programs says that as refugees are not allowed to apply. If they should allow, maybe they can consider asylum seekers for the time. I just don't know. I just think that one could be a tricky one. All right, that is one area that I think could also be excluded. Otherwise, everything else is clear. An area that I would have loved for them to be more clearer, since the program is set to start any moment from now, is that particular credential requirement. Now, point number 3, under the work experience, is talking about something here. Let's see. Applicants won't need prior Canadian work experience. However, they will need to have recent relevant work experience or have completed a credential of at least 6 months of related home care training. Complete a credential of at least 6 months of related home care training. I wish we knew what constitutes a related home care training. What are the approved trainings that people can look into? Because anybody can say they have the training. As to whether those trainings are up to what Canada's government wants or not, we don't know. So I wish there was some more details here talking about what goes into a related training. Does it mean a personal support worker, somebody who trained in school and has a PSW certificate can apply? I think those people will be allowed to apply. Does it mean somebody who did a care worker home care program online in the USA, online, will be eligible to apply? Does it mean somebody who did some home care training from UK or New Zealand or Australia will be able to? I wish there was some clarity. But my intuition is that they may accept anything that is a bit they may accept credentials or certifications that are recognized. Where recognized simply means, so long as it is not a certificate that was printed from, from your internet cafe shop by an agent. You know what I mean? I mean, those guys who go and just put anything on a sheet and then put their name there, say, you know what I mean? Alomobites home care training, and then you put it on those ones. I don't think they will accept those ones. I just think if it is coming from like a known organization or institute, it could be. And they say at least 6 months. So they are not really saying you need a 1-year schooling to get it. They are saying at least some proof, right? Remember, I'm saying that they didn't put the details, so don't ask me for the details. I'm just telling you what my guess is, right? That's one thing that I thought about there. Now, so you're watching right now. If you're in Canada, you have a postgraduate work permit, you have an open work permit, spousal work permit, you probably should get ready. I think Indians will take advantage. Number one, they are the largest immigration group here in Canada. If you pick international students, maybe 7 or 8 out of 10 are Indians, right? If you come to those on postgraduate work, a majority of them are Indians. They are just the largest here, and they are very organized. These guys are very organized. They're united. So most likely when this thing happens, you see them go. So if you're watching me right now and you are probably thinking about this, maybe your wife is in school or your husband is in school and you have an open work permit, probably this is about time to start getting those kind of requirement. You already have a work permit, which makes you eligible. You know what I mean? Maybe you should consider taking the language test ASAP and see if you can hit that CLB4. You know what I mean? That's that benchmark for them. All right. Now, what about the credential that I don't have it? Maybe this is about time that you can start looking to see which credentials you can quickly get. They say up to at least 6 months, isn't it? So maybe see which one you can quickly get, which is kind of recognized. I don't know. Just check it out, right? Who knows? Maybe I can come with a video if I think there are some credentials out there that you can pursue. Don't pressure me on this. I'm not promising. I will look. If I find anything that I think is related to home care credential, I will probably talk about it. All right. Meantime, just be ready to apply. When they open it, it will close fast. Why? Because there are thousands and hundreds of people, hundreds of thousands of people in Canada right now whose immigration status are unresolved. They are on their path to becoming permanent residents, but there are no opportunities, and people are hungry looking for this. This one is probably one of the easiest. If you are a PSW certificate holder, I think this could also be a good one for you. Wait, guys, I won't talk much about some of those aspects, but you just put yourself ready, make yourself ready. You know what I mean? Just get yourself ready and start taking advantage of it. All right, let me take one or two questions. Here, and I will just end the video after 2 questions. Let me see if there is simple mind. Nothing. You are a visitor and expected to live at the end. I think you're talking about somebody on a visitor visa. Okay. Do I think visitors visa holders will be able to apply? Well, they said those who are in Canada can apply, but those who are workers. So if my guess is right, they will restrict it to those who have an eligible work permit in Canada to apply, right? If they include visitors, good for you, but I just doubt they will do that. I just doubt that they will allow visitors from Canada to apply, all right? All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Do have a good one, and I'll see you on the other side. Peace.